everybody. I'm Lish Speaks, and welcome to another episode of I'll Just Let Myself In. Listen, this week I'm super excited because we have a guest who I really believe epitomizes what we talk about here on this show. His name is TJ Bennet. You would know him because he has an incredible store called Soul Play ATL, where a couple of different things happen. We got Soul Play Her, we got Soul Play, we got tech, we got anime. We're going to get into everything that he does. But ladies and gentlemen, give it up for TJ Bennet. Woo! Awesome. What's up, man? How you doing?
Thank you. I appreciate that well-thought introduction. I really appreciate it.
You know
Thank you.
I did a little bit of research.
There we go. It's a little bit about me out there in the world. It's a little bit about me.
A little rolling, rolling loud, a little different.
Yeah, it's a little something,
But yeah, I'm super excited to have you here. First of all, we do a segment here at I'll Just Let Myself In called What I'm Stepping In. And so today I kind of had to bring it because, we got the sneaker guy in the building. So today for What I'm Stepping In, I wore my Air Jordan 1 Lost and Founds. I love these sneakers, reimagined sneakers, because one, they have a feel of a little bit being worn. And I wear my sneakers. We know wear your shoes movement. I'm a part of that movement. In fact, a lot of the sneakers that y'all see in this segment, y'all gonna be like, oh, she wore those. Cause I got grails and I'm wearing them. But yeah, I love these shoes because one, who doesn't love Jordan 1s? We all love Jordan 1s. They're classic.
They're the best.
But the Lost and Found, I feel personally for me, was the last release that I really was excited about. I feel like we started to get a little bit of an oversaturation with Jordan 1s. And again, it's a classic shoe. I completely understand. But I feel like we got so used to them coming out that it wasn't like excitement about a pair, like, oh, I have to have these. And I felt like when the Lost and Founds came out, a lot of people that I respected the sneaker culture and myself, obviously, were like, nah, these are them ones. And so, yeah, I bought out my Lost and Founds for you, brother.
I appreciate it.
Right,
and it's crazy that you brought it out because, like I was telling you before, I slept on it. I didn't get them.
Yeah.
We released the shoe, but I would just figure, they'll be around. They'll be around a couple of days after release date. Yeah. They flew off the shelf. So that's the one that two. Yeah. Those reimagined ones and the SB4s. Those are the two I didn't get. But hopefully Jordan Brand, please re-release the reimagined ones.
This is the guy.
Because I got to get them. We got to release them again. I got to get my pair. I got to get my pair.
Absolutely. So tell people what you're stepping in and what you love about them.
So I'm in the P6000. It's a classic Nike silhouette, and honestly, as I've gotten older, I'm 36. As I've gotten older, I am a big fan of comfort shoes. And the P6000s are like the most comfortable ones out right now. Yeah. Between these and the Vomero 5, you already knew what I was. But these are more, I feel like, more equipped for colder weather. The Vomeros are like super light and super comfortable.
That makes sense.
But the P6000 is honestly my favorite shoe right now. So that's what I'm stepping in today.
Okay, that's what you're stepping in. Listen, if you love them, if you like them, look for them, get them. Tell us what you're stepping in, what you're loving these days. As a person who's like, has access to lots of sneakers, are you like brand loyal or do you kind of skip around?
No, I skip around.
Yeah, I skip around.
Yeah, I skip around.
I wear them all.
Yeah. If it looks good, if it can be a Reebok, if it looks good, I'll wear it.
Yeah.
There's no particular brand that I'm just dedicated to. Yeah. Again, if it's something I like, I'm going to wear it.
Yeah. But I do feel like most sneakerheads defer to Nike. We defer to Nike.
Yeah. They do, dominate market share.
It's just
right now.
It's also something about culture.
But you know who's been making a strong comeback?
New Balance.
New Balance and Asics.
I know.
New Balance and Asics
is doing very well, so much so that I feel like it's making Nike release more of these
comfort
types
shoes.
of sneakers.
Yeah. I think that's just what culture.
But put them to the forefront of marketing.
Yeah, and that's
they
what
will always
culture.
Release.
Yeah, that's what culture is now. Culture, like the sneaker culture now, is, of course, Nikes and Jordans. That's not so pro comfort is going to sell, but now comfort is definitely in.
Yeah. There's so much so that, and I'm actually going to do this for an episode. There's an Avia sneaker, which is the Walmart brand of sneaker. Okay, right?
I think I'm
talking about an Avia sneaker that looks like the Asics.
Really?
That has gone viral. TikTok. Sold out.
What color is it? What is it?
It's like gray, black, and white. Silver, black, and white. So let me tell you, I went to Walmart. Okay. They didn't have my size. The shoe is fire.
Oh, so it's in Walmart?
It's in Walmart. Avia is AVIA, I think it is.
Yeah, correct.
It's in Walmart. I just want to see because I'm like, why is this shoe going viral? Let me see it.
That's crazy.
I'm getting one. They didn't have my size, but I'm definitely getting. They $20. Wow. When I tell you they look fire,
I'm gonna have to check them out.
They're fire.
I'm gonna have to check
them out. You know
out.
what I'm saying? And I just be feeling like, yo, why not? You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing with social media, especially TikTok. You know, it's so tough, I guess, to project fashion because it's so fast now. You know, like you said, Avia hit TikTok, goes viral. Now that's the new hot shoe. Next week they're off the Avia. So it's like, where are we going to go? You know, as far as the fashion and sneaker trends.
Well, what I enjoyed about it, honestly, was, you know, kids and adults, we need options that are more cost effective.
Absolutely.
Every
especially
shoe
now.
Can't be $150, $200. Every shoe can't. You know what I mean? And I'm a shoe connoisseur.
Absolutely.
I have all sorts of shoes, designer shoes, athletic shoes. I'm going to spend the money because I'm crazy. But people need options. Correct. You know, kids need options.
For sure.
You know, you got that single mother out there. She got 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 kids like my mom had. Every kid, she can't afford $150,
$200 shoes.
When we was growing up, kids' Jordans was $65, $75.
Yep.
Now for your kid who wears a size
140, $150. Easy.
So if you got 2 or 3 of them little things running around, you need some aviators to go viral. You need some other options to go viral. So that's why I like Converse. I like, you know, I like when the sneaker does well, when a shoe does well, and it's not super expensive. I feel like it gives those kids that might not, you know, be in the best economic situation a chance to still be cool.
Correct.
Because one of the things that's super important to me, and we gonna get into, you know, everything that you got going on, but you'd probably agree with this. Streetwear culture, sneaker culture, it's about you feeling good.
Absolutely.
And I think when it becomes about how much money you have, like sometimes I look at certain people who just have the funds to buy every resale sneaker.
Right.
And they have all the sneakers. It like takes the like cool out of it. Because I'm like,
I get that.
You just bought them on resale. Like you don't even really care. You just can't afford it. You know what I mean?
Correct.
I think I grew up in at least an era where you got the calendar when the J's was coming out.
For sure.
And whichever pair you really wanted, because you wasn't going to get every pair, you had to start asking your parents weeks in advance. I used to have to ask my dad, like, Dad, these Jordans are coming out on this day. Me and my best friend Jasmine used to get up on Saturday morning, go to VIM or Vim's, depending on what part of New York you're from, you call it VIM or Vim's. In Brooklyn, we called it Vim's. And we would go stand in front of the store and wait for it to open to get our sneakers. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, and so I understand why we can't do that anymore now because times have changed and for safety reasons.
But we still do that. Sorry to cut you off, but we still try to every now and then we'll do a first come, first serve. Yeah. Because the community really appreciates it. Because like you said, it just gives them that nostalgia, like camping out. See, and people think it's a danger, but we had no issues.
Yeah. Like, well, you guys have created a very specific type of culture with Soul Play.
Correct.
And you guys did that for the Kobe, right, which biggest sneaker of the year.
Yeah, people thought we were crazy. They were like, oh my God, they're doing first come, first serve. But again, our community and people and supporters, they don't act out. Yeah. You know, they don't act out. They can camp out 2 and 3 days, no issues. Because a lot of people that do camp out, they're OG sneakerheads. Yeah. They're like, just again, like us, you know, from the day. Yeah. And it's never any problems, never any issues, nothing. So I'm very grateful for that.
And you've created it. You guys have created that. I want you to tell us a little bit about Soul Play and kind of how you guys have created such a holistic culture. Correct. That's what I think about when I think about Soul Play. You guys it's a very holistic.
Yeah, because approach. You know when I look at sneakers and I look at fashion, and I think about Black culture, right? It's a strong connection there. It's a strong emotional connection and values and belief that's tied into it. So you know, instead of when I initially started out with Soul Play, of course, you know, you look at dollar. When you look at the shelf, you see dollar signs. Okay, you know, we got the business. We're going to make money, blah, 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 which is great, and it's a part of business, right? But then, you know, I was like, well, how can I impact, you know, my community? What can I do to, you know, just pay what I've learned forward? And then all those dollar signs turned into, I said, oh, you know what? These sneakers, in fact, is power. Yeah. It's actual power. And some of the things that we do, like Save Soul Circle Foundation, which is our nonprofit. Soul Play Her is our women's initiative. And of course, Soul Play Decatur has a state-of-the-art gaming facility. And we have all these initiatives and implementations in our stores to draw in our community. Yeah. And that's something that they connect with as fast. Because so for instance, Soul Play Decatur, right? The state-of-the-art gaming facility. And we'll go into that, a little bit more into that as well. You know, Black people are the #1 consumers of gaming and tech, and
there's
a huge digital gap when it comes to us in these positions of employment.
Yeah.
So, we was like, okay, well, look, we want to meet the youth where they are, right? And we don't want to go in talking about C++ and Python and all the tech lingo and things like that. But again, what do they connect with? What do they love? What are they going to, regardless of anything, what are they going to connect? Fashion and sneakers.
Yeah.
So we just leverage the fashion and sneaker aspect that drives our culture to bring in the youth and say, okay, you know what, look, here's the state of our gaming. They love gaming. So our youth and community connects with gaming. Fashion and gaming are two things that connect with our youth, right? So we just ultimately put it all under one roof. Just to draw them in, to bring them in. And we don't want to mix them up with the lingo of C++, Python, etc. So we just utilize the sneakers to draw them in, and then in the gaming aspect as well to teach them. Game development. Not only can you be a consumer of games, but you can actually develop it. And a lot of times our youth don't know that.
Right. And it gives them some opportunities to have some stake in something that they already love so much.
For sure, absolutely, absolutely. Again, just getting away from the consumerism mindset. Because again, the biggest thing is access and awareness. Just to let them know, because a lot of the kids don't know that you can become a game developer or a voiceover character or whatever in the gaming industry. So just peeling back the layers of that to teach them, that it's possible.
I love that. So at Soul Play Decatur, you guys have installations. You have this crazy vault.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys have the gaming situation and coding and all the different things that you all do. When you thought about creating that space, how did you sell these different ideas to the investors?
That's funny.
Because I've read that you found your partners out of, was it grad school?
Yeah.
And you partnered with them because you used to work with
one of my partners. So in undergrad, so I went to Troy University. Okay. And in undergrad, let me go back from even before then. So in Troy, there's a sneaker boutique, sneaker store called Step and Style.
Okay.
So when I was in undergrad and part of grad school, that's where I worked before I went corporate. And he was the owner then, partner now.
Okay.
Real cool cat, right? And he used to always tell me, he was going to open a store in Atlanta and I would potentially run it. But of course, people tell you stuff all the time and I would just, whatever. So and my pops was on my butt. Like he was like, look, you got to go get a job. You got your insurance. You're going to be on our insurance 2 months later. So I went corporate. Did corporate for about 5 years. And around that 5th year, that's when they opened, Soul Play. And I said, and I wasn't liking my corporate job like that.
Yeah.
And I asked how much could you pay me to, just run it. He shot me a decent number. It wasn't great, but I was thinking work-life balance.
Yep.
Got into it, and it was cool, but mentally, you can get comfortable in corporate. You got the safety net with corporate America. You got your 401k, health benefits. You don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
So mentally, 1 foot was in corporate America, 1 foot was independent route, and I said, you know what? If I'm going to do it, I'm just going to be all in.
Yeah.
So and this is pre-ownership, right?
Okay.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to be all in Soul Play. Went all in on Soul Play. And of course, we took it from 0 to 3 stores now, and it's going great.
Which was the first store? Was the Lawrenceville?
Yeah, the Lawrenceville store was the first location.
The store is beautiful. It's huge, too.
Thank you.
It's big. It's a big store.
Yeah, it's big. With the denim bar, with the bar and everything. So I took it from 0 to stores, not 0, 1 store to 3 stores, and they offered me equity in the business, and it's been great ever since then.
I love that. So you having equity in the business, being young, being black, being really fully immersed in the culture.
Right.
When you want to do something like coding in a sneaker store, and a vault in a sneaker store, and yoga and mental health and all that, is it a hard sell? Or what are the type of things you
so the hardest sale was the gaming concept.
Yeah.
That was the hardest sale. Because again, my partners have been in the game for like 30 plus years. And it was at one point in time, transactional experiences was okay, but again, me being someone that has always wanted to impact the culture in ways just outside of sneakers and fashion.
Yeah.
I just did some research. I was like, because my nephew asked, I always ask my nephews, what do you want to be when you grow up? And one of them said that he wanted to be a gamer. And of course, I had a knee-jerk reaction. I'm like, well, you can't be no gamer. Yeah, you can't be no gamer. Right, exactly. And then after that, I just, did a little research and that's okay, let me look at the gaming industry. So found out the gaming industry, it makes more money than the movie industry and music industry combined.
I don't know that either. Wow.
Yeah, music, but but when you look at the jobs, right, and the amount of people that look like us in these positions, it was 2% in 2018. Now it's like at 4%. So I was like, well, going back to the power of sneakers and fashion, I said, okay, how can we leverage sneakers and fashion to impact the community? And I pitched that, hey, look, our community loves gaming culture and they love fashion. Let's put it all under one roof. And everybody was like, nah, we ain't doing that. We are not doing that. We're not doing that. So look, I had to reach out to one of our brand partners. I won't say the brand, but I had to reach out to one of my brand partners and was like, look, I need you to help me sell this idea to my partners. So we put together a nice deck and everything. Yeah, nice deck. Showed it to them, showed them the impact we can do, and even like collaborations that we could potentially do down the line. And then, of course, they went for it, and it's history. Because
I feel like Soul Play Decatur needs to be like a tourist attraction. People need to be lined up to take pictures at that vault. People need to be lined up to use that. It's such a cool atmosphere.
And it used to be a bank. That's what hence the vault. It used to be a bank. And even with that, when we first toured the space, I couldn't see it. I said, I do not see Soul Play being in this because the carpet was there, the old teller desk, the roof was it was horrible. But once we gutted it and blowed it out, I said, okay, now it's coming to life.
You see it. Yeah. How hard is it to be at the front of the face of, in a lot of ways, a brand that you are partnering with, right? But clearly, is in the culture that people see.
Correct.
Because you seem to be a pretty low-key guy. I am. Your Instagram, you're not trying to be famous.
Right, exactly. No, I'm not. And that's probably been the biggest thing, because I am a low-key guy. I'm usually behind the scenes. But again, I just try to go back to paying it forward. So whenever I can, get on the interviews, a podcast, or whatever, I try my best to do it and be seen and tell my story. So hopefully, somebody that's, like me, that's grown up in the neighborhood, would, push themselves to become, where I'm at, or even better than me. Hopefully better than me. You know what I mean? So, but again, it took a little minute though, because again, I'm typically behind the scenes. So to be doing interviews, presentations, and it was like, oh man, because I'm a little introverted, a little bit. Yeah. But again, it's for the greater good.
Yeah,
so.
It's definitely for the greater good, and I think that it's important for. My husband and I talk about this all the time. It's important for people to see that leadership is not one type of personality.
Correct.
I think when we were growing up, you had to be type A, you had to be gregarious, you had to be out front. It was almost like you'll never amount to anything if you don't have that. So people who were extremely gifted and talented, but just introverted, shy, just quiet, were never really given a full shot at leadership. So I think it's even great for our young people to see, like, hey, I'm chill.
Yeah.
And you're chill. So
and it's
if
okay.
I can do it, you can do it.
And it's okay. Yeah, it's okay to be.
It's okay. Everybody can't be loud.
And that's one thing I fear, because I wasn't the, again, when I'm in a room, I know how to talk to people and things like, but I'm not the type that's just going to be, like you said, on Front Street all the time.
Yeah.
But again, just to have the ability to show kids that look, you don't have to be on Front Street all the time.
Yeah.
But you can still, be successful is everything to me.
Yeah. So you went corporate.
Yep.
From parental pressures a little bit.
Of course. Straight parental pressure.
Did you always know you wanted to work in some sort of entrepreneurial, artistic space?
No,
you didn't know. Okay.
I didn't know.
See, most people feel like I've always felt that.
No,
so you didn't always feel that. Okay.
Again, like I said, so my corporate gig, so I got fired from my first corporate job. And then from there, I went to another sales, because I worked for Coca-Cola. Okay. And then I went transferred to another sales manager role with Snyder's Lance. Okay. But again, the pay was horrible, especially coming from Alabama to Atlanta. So that's when, again, I reached out to my the owner, then business partner now, about being able to work at Soul Play and run Soul Play as a store manager. Yeah. Again, gave me a shot, but again, I don't have an entrepreneur mind. I'm used to the safety net of corporate, 401k, health, all of that. Yeah. So again, it was tough. Like mentally, it was tough. I was depressed because I'm like, I should go back corporate. But what really changed the dynamic of it is I stopped worrying about the safety of corporate, and I really focused on making myself a better person, a better leader. The things that I did lack as an entrepreneur, I read books on books, YouTube videos, workshop, everything I could possibly do to fit the role. And again, ultimately, it's to help myself.
Yeah.
And then as I was helping myself, everything else got a little easier.
Gotcha.
So being a business owner, being the face, it was easy because I read so many other people that have done it before me. And I just honestly just applied what they did, and it worked out.
I tell people all the time, that's great. I tell people all the time, what you don't do well, just imitate.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Exactly. I had a mentor one time who was just super compassionate with people. And I'm empathetic, but I don't always have natural compassion.
Correct.
Like if something's going on, I want to get down and help you, but the coddling, are you okay? That's not natural to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like I'm not helping you. And she was so compassionate to the point where I was like, how do you do this for several people? And so she was like, it's just who I am. So I just literally started imitating her.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not being fake, but like, if she would see somebody sad and she would go, aw. The next time I saw somebody sad, I would go, aw. Because it's not natural to me to go, aw. It's natural to me to go, are you good?
Yeah,
do you need something?
Facts.
You seem sad. What's going on? But which is still good.
Right.
But it doesn't translate to
Yeah, you're right.
So sometimes you just need to imitate the other entrepreneurs around you, the other people around you, the other creatives around you. It really gives you, space to grow at a pace that's sustainable.
Yeah.
I love that. So, you didn't always know it was arts or sneakers. You get into this industry, and now you're like with the big dogs.
Yeah.
You're sitting down with brands.
Correct.
Getting these brands and these shoes and big shoes in your store. Because let's be very clear. Soul Play gets the releases. Okay? There's a lot of sneaker stores. I once, there was a sneaker store in Brooklyn when I was not when I was growing up, but it was more like college age. Called Rock and Soul. And it was ran by a couple of people from Rock Nation. I won't say a bunch of names, right? And you would think that this store would be able to get, at the time, Yeezy was heavy. You would think that these people, these are big industry people. And they were not getting all the releases. And that's when it hit me. I remember I was like, yo, it's really hard to get these releases in stores, because these are people who I know have access to the person.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And they're still not getting all these releases. So the work that it takes for you guys to get the releases that you get, especially over the last couple of years, where sneaker culture really blew. I feel like the pandemic really blew up sneaker culture in a weird way. I feel like we were just home scrolling the internet and buying sneakers, legit. Nowhere to wear them to, but we was buying them. So you're in these rooms, you're negotiating for what your store needs. What does that take as a black man, a young black man, to have the audacity? To ask for what you ask for.
Ultimately, that's what it takes. It takes audacity, and a person should be audacious in what they do. And again, our brand partners are very supportive. Yeah, they're very supportive of what we're doing. They support what we're doing, not only from a retail aspect, but just what we're doing for the community, and how we leverage their branding to impact the community in many different ways. So that's what makes it easy.
Yeah.
Because again, it's bigger than just sneakers with us. Because we're actually on a mission to, impact. Our mission is to uplift the community through service, fashion, and innovation. I mean, that's what we do on a day-to-day basis. So it's easy to have those conversations. And of course, the money is a byproduct of that mission. But yeah, our brand partners are super supportive. Whatever we need, they're there. So yeah, I'm grateful that I have a great brand partners and that willingly support us. Yeah, for sure. We
talked a little bit earlier about anime.
Yeah,
and how you guys have had a event recently.
Correct.
Censoring anime.
Correct.
And how we just really see how generations that have grown up on anime, our generation, and even a little younger that's grown up on anime, is really bringing it to the forefront of our culture it's cool. It's not something that just to hide or whatever, you know. And so how do you see yourself incorporating things like that, anime and other things, into what you all are going to be doing at Soul Play in the future?
Yeah, I think, you know, Black culture is so rich, right? It's rich in...
We are not a monolith.
Right, in every industry. And like you said, to your point, you know, back in the day, you know, it was... I would say a stigma when it comes to, you know, liking anime, or if you did that, it was a whole different group of kids.
Yeah, it was you and your crew.
You weren't mixing with, you know, quote unquote the cool kids. But again, to be able to show that culture that we have and that side, you know, it is cool. You know, and like we just saw Meg Thee Stallion was at the Crunchyroll Awards, I believe, in Japan, and she was cosplay. I seen Usher doing cosplay. So it's not a thing that you should be ashamed of anymore.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're trying to ultimately bridge that gap. Again, just
you go to Comic-Con, you see Black people everywhere. I got an uncle who creates, you know, these I don't even want to call them costumes because they're so intricate. He has a whole studio. Like, he puts these things together and does incredible. It's art. You know what I mean? It's so creative and so cool. Yeah. And
ultimately what we wanted to, again, just push that to the forefront.
Absolutely.
And just show these communities from gaming, streaming, and anime, and just putting those people in the community out in the front lines, and again, just showing us in the world that, you know, it is cool and it's acceptable.
I love that. With all that you've done, you are definitely an inspiration to young people, you know. And if there was a young person coming in the game, you know, particularly a person of color, but just any young person, male or female, coming in the game, wanting to be able to have these relationships with brands, wanting to be able to have a brick and mortar, right? Like that, those things are tough, right? You know, what's one piece of advice you would give them to start off?
I guess when it pertains to, I wouldn't even just limit it to sneakers, right, in fashion. But if you want just retail in particular, just make sure, one, you have a mission. Two, there is a community that you want to serve. And once you figure that out and how you can serve them and how you can leverage whatever the product is that you're selling to help that community, the sky's the limit. And of course, believe and be as delusional as you possibly
That's my favorite.
Can, because it's possible. And you know, you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna fail, but the key component of that is, you know, learn when you fail, get back up, and try again. And what I always tell people, it took Thomas Edison, you know, 1,000 times, 1,001 times to make the light bulb. So just never give up. Know your product. Know the community you want to serve, buy the product, and keep going no matter what.
Yeah. How did you figure out your community, and how have you guys created such a special community? Because we talked about even like camping out and stuff, and how you guys just don't have that type of drama. You know what I mean? You guys have done things like tea parties, and Soul Play Her has done Galentine's and all that stuff. Like, you know, we have the mental health lives that Dr. Erica does.
Correct.
And, you know, yoga at the store and all sorts of different things. How have you guys created that community?
But, ultimately, you know, it's us wanting to create spaces that wasn't available to us when we were younger, right? Especially when you talk about the mental health initiatives that we have, even Soul Play Her, because women nowadays are some of the main drivers or leading drivers with some of these brands, but, you know, they don't get the spotlight as their male counterpart. So just it's all about leveraging the brand as the best way we possibly can to shine light on areas that typically don't have light on it. And that's been our thing. That's going to be our thing until we close all our doors. Hopefully we never will.
Hopefully.
But that's our mission. And we don't, of course, we don't want to stop here in Atlanta. We want to spread it out. As far as wide as we possibly can. Because again, there are more communities out there in the country and world that need it also. Yeah.
Awesome. You talked about women and how we're the drivers, which, women, we create the culture. You know what I mean? If a guy starts wearing sneakers and every single woman thinks a sneaker is whack, guess what?
It's
not
whack.
Gonna wear it. And so I really do think women do drive the culture. And speaking of that, you guys did a phenomenal commercial partnering with UPS and Coco Golf. after she had won her tournament, and just it was super cool. And it was directed by a woman, from Philly, I believe, and some creative direction by women that I know, and just really super cool. You know, how important was it for you to do that commercial? Mm-hmm. You know, to show the tech side and the streetwear side and the athleticism of soul play, but also to honor a woman in sports at the same time.
And even with that, like that whole rollout was woman driven. And shout out to Liv.
Yeah,
you know, Liv is our marketing manager, and she used to work for UPS. And she pretty much, I believe, and don't quote me, but I believe her boss at the time asked, you know, said, hey, look, we want to highlight a few retail stores in Atlanta that are doing dope things in the community. And Liv, of course, was like, hey, look, you got to go, you know, got to go with Soul Play as one of them because of the work that they're doing inside the community. So from there, you know, had a brief interview call with them. They loved our vision, love everything that we're about. And said, hey, look, you know, we got Coco Golf. We're going to come in, shoot a commercial with you all. Not only to highlight yourself, but highlight the store and all the great work you guys are doing. And then from there, it was history. And it blew my mind, you know, to see it, you know, because, you know, she's the greatest tennis player, you know, out right now. So to have her in Soul Play, and again, to highlight the things that we're doing is amazing. And again, but all of that was strictly women-led. Again, it just, goes to show, you know, that there's... you know, women are driving a lot of things in the world.
You want something done well, get a woman.
There you go. There you go.
You guys got an event coming up. 4 days coming up.
Yeah.
What are you guys gonna be doing for that, and how can we make sure we get the culture involved?
So the brand, so Nike has tapped all of the boutiques, of the major boutiques here in Atlanta to create our own Air Max 95, which is a nod to, you know, Atlanta culture. And of course, it wouldn't be right if we didn't release it on 404 Day, which is, of course, April 4th, 2024. And I believe the shoe that we created, I think the city is going to love it because it has so many stories, so many levels to it. And again, what we plan on doing is, again, you know, what we're doing, pushing now is, you know, tech, gaming, anime, streaming, etc. So we just want to highlight those communities, put those communities on the forefront. Again, just to show the different levels to Atlanta. Because again, when you think Atlanta culture, right? Naturally, if you're not from Atlanta, you're going to think, you know, probably strip clubs, probably the wings.
I was going to say lemon pepper.
The lemon pepper steppers, you know. So, and great music, which is, of course, Atlanta is all of that, right? But again, it's those subsections of Atlanta culture that, you know, the world doesn't really know about. So, again, that's what we try to, you know, that's what we are going to push, you know, when we roll out our Air Max 95s to highlight those communities, again, with it being anime, gaming, streaming, etc. And just show that community to the world and say, hey, look, you know, Atlanta also has this element to it as well. Because it's like gumbo. Atlanta's like gumbo. It's so much, so many layers, and we love to be able to highlight all those layers.
I love it. I'm super excited. I got to make sure I get me some so I can show them more.
Oh yeah, and they hot.
My segment.
They hot too. You're gonna love them.
I'm super excited for that. Listen, man. I'm excited for all that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
And just for the intentionality of the way you guys want to impact the community in the grand scheme of things. What do you want your legacy to be?
Honestly, I want my legacy to be, I just want to inspire as many youth as I possibly can here in Atlanta, my hometown, wherever we go. Whoever, if you're watching our video, this podcast, I just want to inspire as many youth that I possibly can, and again, to make sure that they believe it is possible. That's the biggest thing, because again, like I told you myself, that entrepreneur wasn't in my train of thought.
Right.
You know what I mean? And honestly, I never even thought that I could be an entrepreneur as a youth, you know, because again, like you said, whenever I was growing up, the entrepreneurs, suits, ties, you know, white guys typically that I was in contact with or that I saw. But to be able to see me, you know, dress how I dress, talk how I talk, with the bachelor's degree, master's degree, somebody you wouldn't expect just in passing, to show like, look, you don't have to conform to what the society shows what successful looks like. You know, you can write your own story and you can make it happen. And again, be a little delusional with it, and just never give up, keep trying, keep pushing. And whatever you want to accomplish, it will happen. It might not happen when you want it to happen. But it will happen as long as you stay consistent, stay dedicated, and never stop learning, keep learning. It'll happen. But yeah, just to inspire as many of the youth as I possibly can.
I love that. That's an incredible answer. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for TJ Bennet. We are so happy that you came. Listen, this has been another episode of I'll Just Let Myself In with your girl, Lish Speaks. Y'all already know. Go ahead and like, subscribe, follow us wherever you watch your podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Write us a review. Let us know how you're feeling and what you're thinking. Listen, we're building this community and we're super happy for you to be a part of it. So please come back next week, same time, same place. Peace. Yeah, I might have a great day.